2 Kings 1 through 4. The books of Kings, and 2 Kings in particular, will take us to the end of both the northern and the southern monarchy. In fact, it will even take us 25 years into the exile in Babylon. The books normally, or for many years, were together. It's not until, in fact, the 1500s that Jews even divide the books in half, 1st and 2nd Kings, and they do it simply out of convenience for size, and our English Bibles show that division as well. Well, we meet up with King Ahab. He dies, and at the beginning of the book, and his son Ahaziah begins a short 2-year reign. He grows ill, and he wants to know if he is going to die. So he goes to his messengers, or he asks his messengers to go ask from the god Baal-zebub. He is a god in Ekron down here. And of course, when Elijah hears this, he is incensed that Ahaziah again would go to another god for information, and so he says, because you went to another god to find out about your health, you will die. So Ahaziah will die after a very short 2-year reign. He has no son, so his brother, another son of Ahab and Jezebel, takes over the reins, and he will reign for 12 years. Meanwhile, Elijah is seemingly mentoring another prophet by the name of Elisha. They travel together, it seems, quite a bit at this point, and there is word among the prophets. We hear this among this school of the prophets, it's called. It seems to be other prophets that are working with Elijah, that Elijah will be, quote, taken away, but they're not sure what that means. And Elisha's a bit nervous about that idea, that Elijah would be taken away. And then suddenly, it seems out of nowhere, comes this, in fact, here's how it reads, a chariot of fire appeared with horses of fire, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into the heavens. He's the only person so described in the Bible, taken off the earth in this fashion. Enoch, back in Genesis 5, it says, was not, for God took him, but it's very unsure what we can know about that situation. So this is the only situation we know of where God literally takes a man off the earth without dying. Well, Elisha is shocked, and he picks up the mantle of Elijah and begins to continue his ministry, if not even more dramatically than Elijah himself. But back to Joram. The king of Moab had been under subjection to the northern kingdom for some time. And, well, he revolts, and he stops paying his tribute to the northern kingdom. So Joram goes to the king of the southern monarchy, Jehoshaphat. Now, Jehoshaphat had been friendly with Ahab for some time. In fact, his son will marry Joram's stepsister, Athaliah. So there's a relationship that's been forged here already. Joram goes to Jehoshaphat and says, would you go with me to take care of this problem of Mesha, king of Moab? Jehoshaphat says yes, but let's first ask Yahweh. Again, Jehoshaphat is a Yahwist king. He summons Elisha to his court, and Elisha shows up. He's not a little bit snippy. He says basically, you know, Joram, I wouldn't even talk to you based upon your worship of another god. I don't think, in other words, Elisha's saying we should never presume that we can just ask God for things, for information, if we're not intent on worshiping him. So he says, I wouldn't even come if it was for you, Joram, but because of Jehoshaphat and his worship of Yahweh, I'm willing to come and even answer the question, should we go to war? And the answer is yes, you will go to war against Moab, and if you do, you will win. And they do. So they join forces and they go up against Moab, and the defeat is extensive, all the way, it seems, right up to the king's palace. And at that point, let me read chapter 3, verses 26 and 27. When the king of Moab saw that the battle was too intense for him, he took his eldest son, who would have reigned in his place, and offered him as a burnt offering upon the wall. Now this would have been done in honor of the god Chemosh, the patron god of Moab. And then it says, there was great indignation against Israel. So it seems that the sacrifice to a foreign god seems to have worked. Once again, evidence that these gods are very real, very powerful, and can do things, all, of course, under the ultimate sovereignty of Yahweh.